tour of the historical and modern Visby. Approximately 700,000 to 800,000 tourists visit Gotland every summer. The majority arrive on the large modern ferries which run regularly between Visby and the mainland. Visby is also visited by many cruise ships carrying tourists from all over the world, as well as all the leisure boats that moor at the guest harbour and take part in the fun and nightlife that the harbour offers. On the 1st of July 2013, Gotland University College and Uppsala University merged to create Campus Gotland. All scientific disciplines are represented on Campus Gotland, and the university offers one of the best learning environments in Sweden. Operations in Visby are now part of the university. The Almedalen Library was inaugurated in 2001. Campus Gotland and the library are located in between the medieval and the modern harbour. Visby was during the 1200s the major trading centre of the Baltic Sea, and the medieval harbour with loading docks out through the small gates in the wall was located here in Almedalen. The small sailing vessels, called cogs, arrived to the harbour bearing goods from Eastern and Western Europe. The goods were stored in the tall stepped gable houses. Visby was an international town, and many of the 11 churches served as hubs and warehouses for the different nations who carried out trade via Visby. The harbour has long been silted up and is today the location of a beautiful park. Visby Strand is Sweden's most beautifully situated conference facility, and it attracts businesses and organizations from across the country for conferences and meetings. Visby Strand opened in the spring of 2007. The political event, Almedalsveckan, the Almedalen Week, has been organized here every summer since 1968, when then Prime Minister Olof Palme for the first time stood on a lorry platform and spoke to the people. It serves as a place for all the country's leading politicians to meet and give speeches and seminars. Everyone is welcome and the floor is open. Tornet, the gunpowder tower, is older than the rest of the town wall and was built in the 1100s as a defense building at the northern channel into the harbour. The tower also served as a beacon at night and got its name in the 1700s when the crown's gunpowder was stored there. It also served as a prison at one time. The tower is 25 meters high. The port is called Fiskaporten, the fisherman's gate. In the evenings you can follow the sun that often becomes fiery red as it sets into the sea. Inside the walls at Kärleksporten, the Love Gate, you'll find the famous botanical gardens, which were built in 1855 by the society, the Badande Vännerna, the Bathing Friends. The society was founded on July the 9th, 1814, with the purpose of working for the common good. The botanical gardens are home of exotic plants and large rose gardens, and the mild autumns contribute to the rich vegetation. Sjömuren, the sea wall, is the oldest part of the town wall and was built in the 1200s. Among the towers built about 100 years later is Jungfrutornet, the Maiden Tower, where legend has it that a young girl, Nils Goldsmith's daughter, was incarcerated with a punishment for having betrayed Visby for the Danish king Valdemar Atterdag. A more likely explanation is that the tower's name comes from an older cubic measure. The smallest called Maiden. It was used among other things to measure aquavit. The grandest part of Visby town wall is called Nordermur, the North Gate, and begins at the northwest corner of the wall, extending from Silverhättan, the Silver Hood Tower, to Norderport, the North Gate. On Whitsunday in 1525, Visby was conquered by the Lübeckers, who burnt down several churches and looted many houses that lay in their path. The German church of St. Mary was spared and is today the island's cathedral, which has undergone extensive renovations. Visby Hospital is a modern emergency hospital for more than 57,000 residents of Gotland. It has virtually all specialities, including the fields of medicine, surgery, cardiology, infection, etc. Should a patient require emergency care on the mainland, there is a transportation organization with a helicopter. So Visby, St. Nicholas and St. Karin were the largest and most beautiful monastery churches in Visby. There was also a hospital church called St. George. It served as a church to people with leprosy and were therefore built at a safe distance from the wall. As the largest and most imposing towers, and from the high ramparts you can see large parts of Visby and the well-preserved towers. The northern part of the wall had 3 gates, one among them the North Gate, leading into the town, one of the main gates. A residential area has been built on what was previously the site of an abattoir. Dalmanstornet, the Dalman Tower, which today has a tiled roof, is located in the middle of Östergravar, the moats. The tower is named after the deputy county governor, Dalman, who during the famine in 1784 had the tower changed into a granary and bricked up the gate. It was opened up again in 1926 and remnants of the old gate can be found inside. Today there is a pedestrian bridge leading to the gate, and behind the town walls you can see the black towers of the Cathedral of St. Mary. The towers built in between the ground towers are called saddle towers, as they hang like saddles across the wall. Originally, there were 22 of these towers, but today only 9 remain. There are 2 saddle towers in the eastern wall, which due to the risk of collapse, were braced with iron rods in 1867. Unfortunately, a portion of the adjacent top of the wall collapsed in 1871. Exactly when and how the wall was built is not known, but a 3.5 kilometer long wall was probably built during the years 1240 and 1280. What is certain is that it was completed in 1288. The majority of the 29 towers were built in the 1300s, when Visby was at the height of its great power in the Baltic Sea. The town was an international center for commerce with its favorable location in the middle of the Baltic Sea. Today, Visby has a shopping center outside Österport, the East Gate, with department stores, shopping arcade, banks and car park. The southeastern wall that Valdemar Atterdag on the 27th of July 1361 defeated the Gotland peasant army, who had come to Visby seeking help, but the burghers of Visby just stood on the wall and watched. The doors opened to the Danish king, who was able to ride in and pillage Visby. According to the legend, the town's population were made to leave gold, silver and jewels in 3 large barrels on the main square. This is perpetuated in C.G. Hellqvist's famous painting on the pillaging. The replica can be seen in Fornsalen at the Museum of Gotland. Gotland remained under Danish rule for nearly 300 years. Only at the peace in Brömsebro in 1645 did the island become part of Sweden again. Adelsgatan is the name of a pedestrian shopping street, home to about 50 shops. The street begins at Södertorg Square, located by Söderport and Southgate. Adelsgatan is a part of Visby Centrum, which is a collective name for businesses operating in Visby Town Centre and the East Centre. In the summer, much of the trade and the cafes move outdoors. Visby is built on 3 different terraces, and all cross streets are on a steep slope. Visby Castle was located at the southwestern wall. The castle was blasted and demolished by the Danes in 1679, and today there are only a few remnants left due to the subsequent pillaging of the ruins. Both the crown and the residents of Visby took the stone and sold it or burned it to produce lime. The stone was also shipped to the Royal Palace in Stockholm, where it was put to good use after the Great Fire and then ravaged the palace in 1697. Opened in 1859 and is known locally as Sjumastan, the Seven Masts, for its 7 chimneys. Up until 1998 there were inmates at the prison, but today it is home to a youth hostel. Tekno Lundqvist, the last prisoner to be publicly executed in Sweden, was one of the inmates who sat in these cells. He was executed at Stenkumla, about 10 kilometers south of Visby, on the 18th of May in 1876, for several acts of theft and murder with robbery. Construction of Visby's current harbour commenced in 1842, and over the years it has been rebuilt many times. Most recently, it was the long pier that underwent reconstruction to finally offer the big ferries protection against the autumn storms. The granite blocks in the pier come from Småland, and as part of the pier's expansion, the harbour has received a cruise ship wharf and a modern terminal for daily traffic to and from the mainland. We would like to thank you for riding with us on this little tour and wish you a continued pleasant stay here on the island of Gotland.